Hi, we're the COVID Crushers, and we'll be giving a presentation on motivation today. My name's Faith Fortune. I'm from Whidbey Island, and I'm an MIS major, and I'm a fourth year.
Hey, I'm Josh from Parkersburg, West Virginia, also an MIS major and a third year.
I'm Hanabi Bay. I'm from Mukilteo, Washington. I'm an MIS major as well, and I'm a third year.
Hi, I'm Trey Belmont. I'm from Mill Creek, Washington, also an MIS major, and I'm in my fourth year.
I'm Olga Schulteis, and I'm from Seattle, Washington, and I'm also an MIS major, third year.
The group and I will be presenting on a company called BN Builders, founded in 2000 as a general contractor located in Seattle, Washington. The company also has two offices, one in Bay Area and one in San Diego, California. The goal of the company has been to use high technical skills to complete projects throughout the West Coast, ranging from Bellingham all the way down to San Diego, California. We've worked on projects of occupations ranging from life science to healthcare, education, or even office markets. BN Builders is built upon a culture of love for their work and their community, and their one mission is we are builders, we love what we do. Next are completed projects. Starting from the top left is a Facebook project called Arbor Blocks. This is one project I personally got to visit, and this was finished in 2019. It is located in downtown Seattle with a beautiful view of the Space Needle on one of its balconies. Moving over to the right is Mount Lake Terrace Elementary School, completed in fall of 2018, which allowed for the replacement of the existing building dating all the way back from 1955. Lastly is the Penn, located in center field of what is now T-Mobile Park, formerly Safeco Field. This included adding restaurants, bars, fireside lounge, as well as cocktail seating. Lastly, I'll talk about the background of my manager. Michael started his working career after graduating from the University of Idaho in 2016. Starting off his working career as a crew member for Five Guys, then moving into a short-time gig dealing with jewelry. From there, moving over to a short-time role with Regal Entertainment Group as a crew member. All of this would then lead into his internship for 4 months, starting with B&B in 2014, to then being full-time hired in January 2015. His role would evolve over time to be a senior IT technician, to then being a regional IT lead in July 2020 to current.
This brings us to our if-then statement. If you show employees they are valued, then you will see better motivation and work performance.
So, what is motivation? Motivation is the general desire or willingness of someone to do something, which we have two different types of motivation, which include extrinsic motivation and intrinsic motivation, where extrinsic focuses on the outcome of your work and stuff like incentives or deadlines for people to be motivated to do their work, while intrinsic is more of people motivated because they enjoy the work that they do or find it more interesting.
All right, self-determination. Self-determination is a psychological empowerment and is about intrinsic motivation. For a person to experience self-determination, the person has to feel empowerment. For a person to feel empowerment at work, a manager or workplace has to create the right environment. For example, if a person is given more autonomy at work, more freedom, and if trusted to make his or her own choices and decisions, the person will feel in control over their task at work and experience more self-determination. Another example of self-determination is when a person runs into a difficulty at work with a task, they feel like they can make their own choices to overcome the challenge and feel in control and not under someone else's control. Okay, next slide. Self-determination in B&B Builders and how Mike applies it to the workplace. Mike encourages his team and employees by letting them know when they're doing good work and how he wants the employees to feel successful at the end of the day. In our interview with Mike, it sounded like he has established an open, positive work environment where the employees feel comfortable to ask questions and learn and make sure that his employees feel confident in their job. He offers feedback on the employees' achievements. The managers believe in his team and says they're very capable. He also makes sure to relay outcomes feedback from the company's customers. All these examples above might help in intrinsic motivation and help the employees to feel freedom at work, and that the manager trusts them to make their own choices and decisions. We have a suggestion from Mike and the company to help employees with competence. First off, competence or self-efficacy is believing in own capability at work. This is when a person feels like he or she is doing a good job or feel like they can learn a task or a job they're feeling competent in. So the company is growing, new things are happening, and the employees at the company are busy. And in this situation, I can see that it might be hard to find time to learn and keep up. A suggestion to the company could be to make sure that all the employees are updated on policy changes and receiving updated training so they do not have to worry about missing something, and that have the ability to feel like they are doing a good job of keeping up. Another suggestion is to lessen the gaps between different departments. For example, not having the accounting and the IT work separately on opposite sides of the workplace, but instead of working together and collaborating during working hours so they are up to date with each other.
The definition of meaning in the workplace, according to Wingerden, is work that is experienced as particularly significant and holding positive meaning for an individual. When it comes to motivation in psychology, one of the key elements is meaning. Also known as having a sense of purpose, meaning is what makes a person tick in the workplace. What about a person's job gives them a reason to be there? A good example was a janitor's experience at NASA. He felt his meaning and purpose by feeling he was helping out the science organization through keeping the place clean and organized. He felt connected to the organization that sent man on the moon. For others, meaning in the workplace doesn't come as easily. As a boss or supervisor, it is important to get to know your employees. The idea is to understand what motivates them, what gives them meaning, and what makes them happy to be at work. Use this knowledge to advance the purpose of your employees. At Trey's workplace, his supervisor took several steps to make sure his employees found meaning at work. His first steps were even in the hiring process. Since he is working with people in tech, he hires people who are passionate about computers and technology in general. He looks for people who like to play video games, build their own computers, and other things like that. The next steps he takes to ensure that purpose is given is by hosting several events to give a sense of community to his workers. He also gives his workers downtime at work when the place isn't busy, and encourages taking time off work for mental health days. When there's tension or arguments in the workplace, he actively listens to both parties to ensure that everyone is heard and understood. He is a great leader, not only by saying the right things, but by doing the right things. On the other hand, if employees do not have a sense of purpose or meaning at work, you may observe the following behaviors. A lack of connection among workers towards each other, a lack of connection to customers, lack of effort, poor attitudes, social loafing, and poor work performance in general.
According to Oxford Bibliographies, impact is defined as the belief that one can make a difference in the managerial process, that one can influence operational outcomes in their work unit. It's the feeling that your efforts contributed to making a difference and affecting the organization. When employees know that their work contributed to productivity for the organization, they're more likely to be satisfied with their work and excited about their jobs, which contributes to an increase in production levels. A great example of impact is that the more employees and managers believe that their work helps the organization meet its objectives or benefits a customer, or even leave work knowing that they did something useful to someone else or for someone else, the greater their sense of impact becomes. People lacking in impact is generally someone who genuinely believes that what they do in the company doesn't matter and that it is pointless, which contributes to low productivity and decreased autonomy. With BM Builders, the organization approaches the dimension of impact in a way that allows employees to understand what they are doing well and what they aren't. As mentioned above in self-determination, acknowledgement is also part of the impact aspect of motivation. Manager Mike states that he likes to acknowledge when an employee is doing well and making sure that they understand why they're doing well. Our group has concluded that if companies and businesses show that employees are valued, then they will see better motivation and work performance.